I've just seen the pair of them, and all they are hillbilly scum. Good laugh to be around, but hillbilly scum. You can tell they just didn't care about the loss of life. When you see them in that interview room, prior to them being all charged and that, you can tell, when they're talking to each other, when they've been allowed to talk to each other, he's still in shackles. They're still unkempt. They're still exactly how they were on the street, just as they were pulled in, and they're talking to each other about them being pulled in and about the baby. They're just talking about the baby as if they're just discussing a shopping list about a missing, just like as if they're discussing a missing inanimate object. They just don't care. They sound like they just don't care, as if they have the inability to even address the fact that the child was an animate object. I'm not being deliberately disrespectful toward the two of them. This is simply my observation of them. As if they're simply not aware that the child was an animate object. The people like that are just street trash. Hillbilly fare. They are just real scum of the earth. People who I've had, who I've had I've shared good times. I've hung out with in the past when I've been living off the land, and type of people you can have a good laugh with when you're out, as I say, living on the land, and you just the people they're young. They don't address the fact that they're going to die. They don't think of dying themselves. They just want to have a good time, chill out and have a good time, and they are great to be around for, say, for short periods of time when you're just living off the land. And they're the kind of people who we see in movies, people who just want to live hard, die young, and want to just have a party and just want to chill, and when they want to sleep, they want to sleep. When they want to eat, they just want to eat. When they want to have a cigarette, they'll have a cigarette. When they want to have a good time, they'll have a good time. And they don't. People like that, people who we all want to be like, basically, without a single care in the world, aren't going to be bothered if they drop a cigarette on the carpet, spill a can of beer over. No, they are admittedly people who we all want to be like. Deep down, they are people who we all want to be like. They are the real salt of the earth, aren't they? These hillbilly fare, these white trash type people. But I'm thinking, surely this isn't really what we all want to be like, and they're not, because of said observation. They do seem to be like people. Two of them do seem to be two people who don't seem to be able to address that the baby was an animate object. They don't seem to be able to comprehend that detail. They just don't seem to be able to. They just don't have. They don't come across as people who see the baby as more than just a thing. just as if they're trying to, when they're discussing the baby, she's saying to him, whispering, covertly whispering. The fact that she's whispering details about the missing child alone, just that very fact that she's able to covert with him, that alone, even before what she even says, is proof that they don't actually address that the child is an animate, or I should say was an animate, an animate being, that it was a baby. Because I'm watching a pre-recorded interview of them, I'm commenting based on what I've seen in a pre-recorded interview of them, which I'm now currently watching on YouTube. They remind me so much of my old acquaintances when I used to just travel and live off the land. They do remind me so much of the kind of people who I used to know and used to spend a lot of my time with. It would be, we would never consider going to bed at night. It would be, really, it would just be, we would sleep when we would sleep, and really that is the lifestyle people of that ilk lead. They just live according to their own needs. They eat when they want to eat, they sleep when they want to sleep, they have a cigarette when they want to have a cigarette, they'll drop a cigarette if they drop a cigarette, they'll knock a can of beer over if they knock a can of beer over. Yeah, and again, I'm beginning to smile, thinking, yeah, great, real salt of the earth people, the type of people movies are made about, but they're not, because they don't have any kind of comprehension of an animate human being. They have absolutely no comprehension of that. So, I'm watching the court case now, and the footage of them in the interview room when they're being left alone, which I'm discussing here. That is part of the footage we're seeing in the court. That's part of the court footage which is being shown in the court. She seems to have no sense of urgency at all about the crime. She seems to have no sense of upset. She doesn't seem upset. It's like as if it never even happened. It's like as if it never even happened. It's like as if I'm watching two people who haven't just killed a baby and dumped it in a well. That is as if I'm watching. That is as if I'm watching. And with all the trimmings. Yeah, that's it. Exactly as if two people who haven't just killed a baby. Yeah. They would guard their own lives. If someone was to hold a knife to their throats, they would want to flee from the knife being pushed up against their skin, because they would be aware that if it were entered their skin, then they could be harmed. They can string two words together. They're talking in free-flowing English language, They're speaking fluently to one another. She will be aware that they both bleed. Well, he seems to be quite jovial and quite attractive, with his long, unkempt hair, his dirty skin. But at the same time, he is just... I thought he was going to be more passive than Nah, I thought he was going to be more quieter and just spoke when spoken to. They both seem quite attractive people, self-aware, quite, just as I say, kind of people you see living off the land when you do so yourself. If you take a break yourself and you go and do that, the kind of people who, if you're taking time out, the kind of people who you would say hello to, kind of people who you'd see travelers, scum of the earth, white trash, inbred, total inbred society, people who you would see living in the sticks, in a banged out trailer. Right on. Just seemed just like as if they just, as I say, two people who haven't just killed a child. The way they've arranged the court hearing, that they've slotted this DVD footage of this live conversation between the two, and that they're slotting this in now, a few days in, and I believe she's going to take the stand. And I'm looking forward to it. I believe she takes a stand before the week's out. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think it's really interesting the way they've introduced the DVD of them talking, of them interacting now, a few days into the court hearing. I think it's very interesting that they've done that. So let's see what type of, is it her name, Jessica? Let's see what type of Jessica we get on the stand now. The camera was cutting toward them both sat there in the court as the DVD was being played on the large screen, and they divided themselves up again, Aura and Or, and the type of, I think he takes a stand as well, actually, based on the thumbnails I'm seeing. It's going to be really interesting now to see what kind of people we get on the stand now. We've been only privy to seeing what type of people they've allowed us to see thus far. Now, I think as the DVD's been shown, great stuff, but real scum of the earth. Say people movies are made of. They're great to bump into. They are the real salt of the earth people, they are. They're great to bump into, and they would do anything for you. They would bend over back. The kind of kids who would bend over backwards for you. They are. You would have a great, good crack for a few hours, good time with that type of people if you met them out. You would love their company, but there's definitely something missing. Definitely something missing. Interesting.